So, you did it. You got the promotion. Congratulations. But, after that first wave of excitement, this question starts nagging at you. Okay, what do I actually do now? Well, today we're diving into the essential guide for anyone asking that question. Julie Zhuo's The Making of a Manager. Her big idea is really simple but incredibly powerful, and it all starts by just shattering a huge myth about what it means to be a leader.
Right off the bat, Zhuo just comes out and says it. This whole idea of management being some kind of innate talent you either have or you don't, it's a myth. Management is a skill. And just like any other skill, you can learn it, you can practice it, and you can absolutely master it. This is really the core, empowering idea of the whole book.
And this is the question that trips up so many new managers, right? Your old job description, gone. The new one? It's kind of fuzzy. Are you supposed to have all the answers now? Are you just the boss? Zhu argues it's something completely different, and it begins with a huge shift in how you see your role. So let's talk about redefining that role. The very first, most critical shift you have to make is realizing your purpose is no longer about your work. Your job has completely changed. You've gone from being a doer to being a multiplier for your entire team. And there it is, Zhuo's one-line job description. Notice how simple that is. Your success isn't measured by your own personal output anymore. It's measured by your team's collective output. Your job is to be that multiplier, making the whole team way more effective than just the sum of its parts.
So how do you actually achieve that? Well, Zhuo breaks it down into these three pillars: purpose, people, and process. You can almost think of this as your leadership dashboard. Purpose is all about setting a clear why. People is about coaching your who. And process, well, that's about defining the how. If you can get these three things right, you are well on your way.
Okay, let's talk about those first 3 months, those first 90 days. This is often the most uncomfortable, most awkward period, where all your old habits as a top performer clash with your new responsibilities as a leader. This is such powerful advice because it's so counterintuitive. Your instinct, your gut feeling, is probably to jump in and immediately prove you deserve the job, right? You want to make big changes, have all the answers, but Zhuo says, nope. Do the opposite. Your first priority is to build trust and just soak up context. You simply can't lead a team you don't understand. And this slide just lays out that transformation so clearly. You're shifting from I have to prove my own worth to I need to build trust. You're going from I need to have all the answers to I need to ask the right questions. Your focus is no longer your personal to-do list. It's about clearing the path so your team can be successful. Okay, so once you've started to build that foundation of trust, you can begin using what Zhuo calls your most powerful tool. And it's not about criticizing people. It's actually all about helping them grow. Let's just be honest for a second. This is a universal fear. We've all been there. The very idea of having a difficult conversation can be paralyzing, so we put it off. Or we water it down so much it's useless. Or we just avoid it completely. But, avoiding it doesn't help anyone. So, how do you actually make feedback effective? Well, first, it starts by setting clear expectations from the get-go. You can't hold people accountable to a standard you never actually defined. Then, you make it task-specific and frequent, not some big, scary surprise in an annual review. Look for patterns in behavior, not just one-off mistakes, because that's where the real growth opportunities are. And finally, get a 360-degree view. Your perspective is important, but it's only one piece of the puzzle. I absolutely love this quote because it just completely reframes the whole experience. When you stop seeing feedback as criticism and start seeing it as a genuine investment in someone's career, in their development, it changes everything. It's a gift that helps people get better. All right, so you've got a foundation of trust, you're giving good feedback, now you can focus on what really matters, making things happen. Because at the end of the day, a manager's #1 job is to drive results through their team. Now, this might sound like a contradiction, but it is such a crucial insight. A static 100-page plan, it's pretty much useless the second it meets reality. But the process of planning, of thinking through the goals, the priorities, the potential roadblocks, that process is incredibly valuable. It's what prepares you and your team to adapt to whatever comes your way. And this really drives the point home. A perfect, flawless plan that just sits on a shelf is worthless. What actually drives success is a good enough plan that you put into action, that you test, and that you improve over time. In the world of management,
Action and adaptation will always beat inaction and perfection. So, we've covered purpose, people, process, and execution. But there's one final piece that everything else rests on, and honestly, it's the one that gets overlooked the most.
Let me just say this right now. If you have ever felt this way, you are not alone. Zhuo makes it so clear that imposter syndrome is a totally normal, shared experience in leadership. That feeling that you're in way over your head and you're about to be found out, yeah, that's incredibly common.
Acknowledging that feeling is step one. But the next step is building self-awareness. Look, if you know that tight deadlines make you start to micromanage, you can prepare for that. If you know you tend to avoid conflict, you can consciously practice giving feedback. Understanding yourself is the absolute prerequisite for effectively supporting your team.
And this is exactly why managing yourself is never, ever a selfish act. Think about it. When you get better at handling stress or at communicating clearly, you're not just helping yourself. You are creating a better, more stable, more positive environment for your entire team. Your growth directly enables their growth. And all of this leaves us with one last essential question. As you're building your team, as you're learning to lead, as you focus on their purpose and their process, who is the one person whose development, feedback, and performance you are ultimately and always responsible for? Yeah, it all starts with you.